Talking about porn for a second because we are back live. Sorry guys for the stream crashing. Right now is space. So, who was talking last? Go ahead, Dan. You wanted to talk about the movie situation too.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm that type of person who doesn't want to go out and purchase a physical copy of movies.
Right.
This is where I'm
Mm-hmm.
I like to go to Redbox, retrieve the movie, put it on my computer, rip it to the hard drive so that I have it saved. So I don't.
Well, see, this is where I touched on it before. Is Sony? It's a legitimate article and it went everywhere. I guess the story goes is they lost the licenses to these movies and they deleted them and then refund people the money. Now, I don't go on Sony's. They have their own little streaming service for movies. I've never really used it. I use services like Fandango, and I do have movies and TV shows on there. And those are mine. Even before you even buy anything or you sign up anything, there is a user agreement that you have to sign, and it does cover, like, to say, hey, we get rid of this movie, they will refund you that movie. It's never happened, but who?
Is the movie Debbie Does Dallas in your collection too?
Not that I know of.
You have to get that movie.
Why? We were just talking about porn, and I'm kind of debating what this is now.
I gave it away. Dang it!
I'm not trying to say this is what our podcast is supposed to be. Anyway, but going back to what I was saying with Xbox is I bought when they had their own video server. You can go in and buy movies, TV shows, whatever. And they said, well, hey, this is probably just not making us enough money, or people are watching Netflix, PlayStation. There's so many other services out there. We're just getting rid of ours. But hey, we're not getting rid of the movies you purchased. You can still watch them, do whatever you want. You just can't buy any new ones. So I can scroll over and it says owned, and I have pretty much all the John Wick, well, except for the newest one. John Wick movies. I have, I have 007 with Charles Bronson, which is personally not Charles Bronson, Pearson. One of my personal favorite James Bonds. I have like the entire series of Batman Beyond, and maybe one season of Thundercats. Now I can go back and watch those as many times as I want because I own them. But I don't see Sony, doing that for their. I obviously haven't done that for their customers. If they're already taking 500 movies away, didn't refund them the money for getting rid of them, and which really puts the consensus of why should I even go to your platform for my movie distribution if you're just if you lose the license and you don't refund us the money, or we don't own that. And that's boils down, stems to the issues with the going back to the video games, is if you guys are willing to give, if that happens again, what happens if I log in one day and I wanted to play Dark Souls? Well, we pull Hide Miyazaki decided to pull the license from us, so you no longer get to play a Dark Souls. But I was halfway through the game. I just lost all my progress because I can't log in and So at least that was what I wanted to add on to Dan's topic on the movies. Go ahead, Dan.
So
Right, right. But your retail store, well, for movies, yeah, but for retail stores, like, you're not going to have.
If you want to pay full price for it, I'm talking for that person that was the same. I have to buy it.
You're talking about going to places like secondhand stores like Vinny's, Goodwill.
I'm talking about as a movie archive like yourself, I'm going to spend money.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can still rent them. It's just you can't rent them like from Redbox anymore. You have to go to, yeah. Well, or you can, like I said, I keep on saying Fandango because it is, to me, it's a very good service. I can rent a movie for like $3 or $4 depending on the release, and like, I don't really like this, I'm done. And that's.
Then you got to stream it to your computer.
Well, that's kind of what led people to do this movement. Because I think, Dan, you play emulators, don't you? Okay, so this is where it's led people to do. It's kind of like their own rebellion movement, I guess you can put it. Is people are taking very popular games and making emulators for the PC, like Demon Souls. It's very unplayable still, but you're gonna see more and more people doing stuff like that, like emulating, pirating. Like Dan just mentioned, like I go to Redbox and rent this movie, and I play it on my PC, record it, and keep it. Yeah, you'd archive it. You're gonna see much more people doing stuff like that because, see, for me, I'm kind of in like rush mode. Like I'm trying to get all my physical editions back because in 2028, maybe not right away, but because they've actually shown the price point that you can pay for, let's say, so for the newest title, let's say Neo 3. You can go to Amazon, pay half price for that physical. So you say, instead of buying $70 worth of game, you can pay $30, and that's just on a retail store. Now, my fear is that now I'm trying to, rebuy my collection, trying to get my physical copies back. What's going to happen to the secondhand stores when there's no more physical copies being made? How much more are we going to have to pay for physical copies on second stores such as Amazon, eBay? Is it still going to be $20-$30 or less? Or are we going to start charging us $70? Because if you go back to the days of when people were scalping PS5s, I saw people charging thousands of dollars. Almost, there was one post that was like $1 million just for one PS5, and that's because there was a limited supply of the PS5s at that time because they couldn't get all the components to mass produce them. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't play Pokemon cards. I stopped playing Pokemon cards back in 2000 because all the Pokemon look really ridiculous and stupid. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can pull up right now. Go ahead. Yeah. I mean, I look at... So, let's say one of the games I'm trying to get back is Sekiro. So... So, Sekiro's Shadow dies twice. This is just on eBay. Now, this is one person. They're asking 84. So 80, with tail tax, you're looking at probably like $90 just for one copy. This is nothing special.
For what?
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, brand new. With shipping, it's probably going to be like somewhere around $90. This is on
Maybe a package deal or something.
Nope. It's Game of the Year. That's about it. Which Game of the Year is really nothing other than just a title. It's just like something you put on the cover. That's really all it is. There's no DLC, nothing included. I mean, sometimes sure. I mean, even without the Game of the Year, this one's $60. But you know, the cheapest I've seen for Sekiro Die Twice is the lowest I've seen is $35, and that's just basic. Not even a steel booklet. Like for $90, for personally, I would prefer. I think it's still a little pricey to get the steel booklet, but I would understand a little bit of that price point if it was a steel booklet. But like you're already starting to see some people already jacking up the prices. This is just on eBay alone.
My opinion on the PlayStation. Let's go back. I want to kind of go back to the PlayStation real quick. The PlayStation
Absolutely.
5. And from what you're saying is that they're going to come out with PlayStation 6, right? If I'm correct.
They've been going on social media a lot and trying to get people to. It's like, oh yeah, look at all the cool features we're going to include on the PS6, and every single post is it going to have physical or no buy.
Go ahead, sorry.
And personally, me, even if it did come with physical, $1,000 is just too much. Because the reason why
people can afford that, and on top of it,
you're looking at,
you know, my honest opinion. Before PlayStation even decides to make this PlayStation 6, what they should do is get people's opinion on how it should go.
They won't.
Or have a
Well,
hey, how do you want your controller or the controller set up? You want it the same as the PlayStation 5, or do you want it a little bit different, like the the Xbox?
They won't. But here's what they're at least with the price point I've seen, they're catering this to one specific clientele, and that I don't want to put cast on people who are wealthy or rich or have done very well for themselves, because you know I imagine they work very, very, very hard to get where they are. But they cater to these people because, you know, why the $1,000 price point? You just knocked out a whole bunch of people who would have bought this, because PlayStation. See, reason why console games have jumped and blossomed the way that was because it was an affordable option for people to go and have a gaming experience versus dumping in $1,000 on a gaming PC. Like if I'm gonna dump $1,000, I'd rather put it into a PC. To be honest, like $1,000 would update my current PC, you know, versus like say like, oh well, how much is for the PS5? How much for
that? You know, if that's gonna be $1,000, like you said, I'd rather put it in my computer. Or, no offense to anybody, I'm a gamer, farm sim, you know, anything that has to do with the wheel, I would trade this wheel in, this Logitech G920, in for an American truck and Euro truck wheel right now. Versus,
I mean, that's not, but just not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I don't know how that's offensive. Just saying.
But if you think about it, okay, it's going to be $1,000 to get it. And
right.
If the people want a disc version or the disc version, that's going to be, let's just say, $700 for them to add it on there.
Well, I'm a little I'm not like the first in the wheels. You and Dan would probably have better knowledge on that. But if I'm paying $1,000, that I better have a horn on that thing that sings Wing Dixie. you know.
And the Hori wheel does have that feature on it.
But this is a $1,000 price point. We are no longer having this cheap option for gaming. I mean, don't get me wrong. A console is not cheap. Okay, no matter how you put it, 200, 300, 400, 500. It's expensive, but it's not nearly as expensive as going and putting, building up a PC. Because I know for my PC, this one right here, when I first bought it, and I bought it from Origin PC, I designed it, I put components into it. My cater was for streaming, video purposes, gaming, so I wanted to make sure this thing ran absolutely smoothly. It was freaking the bad computer when I got it. And I probably shipped around $5,000 for it. And that was like the cheapest option. I could have gone higher if I wanted. If I'm looking at $5,000 for a PC, or if I'm looking at $200 or $300 for a console, yeah, it's no option. That's a cheaper option. And the games at the time were a lot cheaper because it was $60 per game. And I remember only buying one game maybe once a week because I'm like, okay, at $60 and use the rest for whatever. And
you had yourself a budget every week to
mm-hmm.
buy a game.
Now here's the problem with this: is you put $1,000 price point on a console that had, and then we just talked about having. Well, of course, you guys are going to have to look into the other video for that one. You put $1,000 price point, then you put I want a disc drive. Okay, here you go, $60. Oh, great! And for those of us who are not tech heads, who don't take our PC, our PS5s or PlayStations apart, work on them, put them back together, that's really not an option unless it's. I mean, I didn't know how to put the SD card into my PS5. I looked it up, took the plate off, then I put that in there. I'm like, oh, okay, that was easy. So unless it's something like that, but still $1,060 for something that should already be into the console is ridiculous. Because for those of us who still wanted that option, you're gonna have to pay over $1,000 to get it plus tax. So you're looking $1,000. So the price point is, I think it's $999. So plus tax. So you're looking at maybe what, $1,005. Then you're looking at the disc drive. That's so 1,000 what, 70, give or take, plus tax, give or take plus taxes, and that's just too much. The console has stopped being a I wouldn't say cheap, but cheaper option for gaming. And I've been gaming. I think Dan and Ice have been gaming a lot longer than I have, but I've been gaming for 30 years. I've been around in the generation for Nintendo, N64, the first PlayStation, PS2, PS3, PS4, and beyond. I still have all my consoles. But it's just too much. And
my point is, with all these consoles that play, or Sony or whoever's making these consoles, what they should really think about is not just the consoles alone. There's certain, it's going to be to the point, these games are not going to support just a regular controller. They're going to need a wheel like I have right now. That's what I'm saying. They should focus themselves on a wheel or a joystick.
Well, Dan, you can contest to this. You gave me a PlayStation wheel, didn't you? So they do.
But not for the newer systems, but for the older systems, they do have.
But I'm just saying in general, they should focus more on other than console, other accessories except for the freaking consoles themselves. That's the point I'm trying to make. They should focus their brain on something completely that will be useful, actually.
Well,
I'm not disrespecting PlayStation.
no.
PC.
Oh, trust me. Don't feel bad about disrespecting them. They deserve all the ire and disrespect and people just coming at them. They deserve every ounce of it right now. But
I'm gonna say this out loud: if my PlayStation account gets banned, PlayStation, you suck.
They right now they do, because they went down E3 and they basically went against Xbox here because they were going to go for all digital too at one time, and PlayStation openly said, well, we're going to support physical gaming so that way you can share it with your friends. Huh? Okay. And you can you can give that copy. And that's another thing I want Sony needs to be able to do for PlayStation 6. If you want, like every subject I just said needs to be implemented. More better for consumer, better security, regulation, renting, ownership. Like if I buy that game, it's mine. And they need to have a way so you can play it offline for people who can't, don't have reliable internet. We need to have, and this is
some type of source.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you say.
What?
The source we're screwed.
Right. But what I was going to say is, I had this idea. Is you have your library, you have a separate library. And you set this one up for your friends, and you put like select games, like say I put Farmer Simulator in, I put Bloodborne, Dark Souls, all these in. I still get to play it until one of my friends says, hey, can I borrow this? And they go into that library, they choose it, it's grayed out for a little bit.
Yep.
And until they return it. Now I can already see someone in chat saying, what if someone doesn't return it? Is that going to stay permanently? No, just like any rental, it wouldn't be like for a few days. You set how long your friend gets to keep that game. So say you want to let him run it for a month. He gets to play it for a month, and then it goes back to your library.
So here's the thing. One, what they have in my local library right now is a great resource.
Sure.
Video games that you can rent and borrow, basically borrow at the library.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what games that they have. I'm pretty sure they have some games, Xbox games.
I know what you're talking.
I'm for the libraries because anytime when I need to find a hard to find movie, I can go use a resource and look for it. I've requested a TV series, I've requested movies, something like that, which is great because that's a resource that I can use as movies and that's my Redbox doesn't have any games anymore.
Nope.
Find your local library and give you resources of those games we can use. I think that anytime anybody is not using the game, why some of the people get in their library?
Mm-hmm.
That's where everybody can use it.
Yeah.
If some of the profit can do that, but I think people should stop selling stuff and have libraries so they can get recirculated for anyone.
That's a good point.
And I'm going to elaborate on the movies part. I still have movies in my closet that I haven't even watched, and they're the disc versions.
Dude, I have VHSs. I have one whole cabinet full of VHSs. I have a whole box full of VHSs. I have a closet full of VHSs because the ones in the tote I couldn't actually store anywhere in my apartment. So I have hundreds of VHSs still.
So I'm going to elaborate on keep elaborating on the movies again, with everything going digital, now you got Hulu, Netflix, and all that, right?
Right.
But when a movie comes out, what are you doing? You're sitting there waiting, or you got to go to a movie theater. Why go to a movie theater if it's already on that platform?
Right.
To waste $10, $20 to go somewhere and then spend more money on popcorn, sodas, waters, candy. Just go to your local corner store and get that for half that, or probably the same price or half that price.
Yeah.
So my point is sit home where you're comfortable, not go somewhere where you're going to be uncomfortable.
Well, see here, I think this is where. Well,
Yep.
this is where I feel that digital distribution and sales skyrocketed is back during COVID. No one was leaving their house. They couldn't go to the movies. They couldn't go to Walmart. They couldn't do anything except for stay at home. So people were buying movies, video games, and like, hey, wow, we're making a lot of sales here. And then people kept buying those. Like I know I bought digital games. I bought like a game called Phoenix Ace Attorney. I actually kind of like it. It's kind of relaxing for me. But Angry Wookiee'S is not liable for what is said in the making of this stream. If you don't like what is said or is shown, then this stream is not for you. Hey, wouldn't I technically be liable because it's my stream?
But yeah, we're not reliable for what we say that comes out of our mouth. But if he gets a flag on this, then that's doing you, Wookie.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. We're so past that time at this moment. I don't think YouTube's like, oh, you said that word. I'm like, no, I don't think we're at that point anymore.
So I'm gonna elaborate on streamers here for just a second. I'm seeing these
Grizzly,
streamers
just 1 second.
Got all this, yeah.
Just 1 second. I want to hear what you got to say, but I want to hear more, just a little bit more on what Dan and Isa have their opinions on how this is going to affect PC and PC gamers, because I don't think a lot of people are touching on that because they're like, well, it's not going to affect me any. I am on PC. I'm good. You guys on the consoles, whatever. Sucks to be you. Right.
Everything's on Steam. You know, it's Steam. You got Epic. You got
Epic Games, Steam.
Yeah, it's all good. PlayStation decided to do this. They started hiking the prices up. The prices hiked on Steam, Epic, and everything else.
So, I mean, it's not. I mean, it'd probably take a little longer for it to be hiked up on PC, but PC would no longer be would not have any more viability than, say, obviously the PlayStation, because you'd be looking at, let's say, for Phasmophobia, let's just say that was a reputable AAA game and you paid initially $60, and you never bought it before, and this takes effect. You're looking at what, 70, 80, 90, $100. Sure.
Then, first month, after that hike price, still you're seeing that same price on the thing. Usually between a week to a month.
So they would have the exact same problem that PlayStation's going to have, where they becoming the gatekeepers. And it's like, well, You know, we need to go buy our new Mercedes. We're gonna crank that dial up so you pay us 100, 200, whatever the price is. We don't care. We want that new Mercedes Benz. I'm not saying that's what they spend their money on, but whatever.
Usually the PC is within effective even though there's other programs, games.
So, besides the price point, what do you think is going to be the bigger fall for the fall off for PC gamers then? Because everyone's going on this train, like PC is the best, PC is going to be our savior, and you're worried about the price point. What other fallouts do you foresee on PC?
Requirements. Because, like, for example, Grand Theft Auto 6, the cost of the game is $100.
Sure.
But you need like a big 80 gigabytes.
Oh, I know the gigabytes for games are ridiculous. Like I just.
Then you get the graphics requirements, and a lot of people don't have these art. I mean, there are people that have RTX video cards.
I know mine does.
I mean,
I know because I was the one who built it.
you have an RTX video card. I know Ice does.
I know I do. It's just not the newest thing, but it was like RTX 1080 series or something like that.
My system built as one different.
So
It's very good, but mine's an RTX, but it's only like a 250 series, so it's not even matched up to what everybody else is. When I'm down here, Ice is way up here. It's just,
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I'm like in the middle somewhere.
You used to be down here, and now you're way up here as requirements for these games.
But damn, I might be way up here in the system, but I still play games on my network.
So, price point when it comes to feature titles is going to eventually hit the PC. Even though right now it's going to be hitting the PlayStation first, then Xbox, then PC. I mean, it depends on the Switch too, but I don't know how. I mean, they've been pretty solid about like $60, $70 for their titles. But then it's going to hit PC. You're going to be paying competitive prices. So if PlayStation's charging $100 per game, you're looking at an equal $100, maybe more for a new PC title, and then hardware. So you're looking at graphics cards, components, parts, memory. So let's break it down a little bit. So let's go with graphics card. I know my 1080p, my 1080 RTX was probably at the time like somewhere around $200-300. So you're saying with the newer graphics. All right, so $1,000 for the graphics card concurrently. So in 2028, you look at the newer graphics card, you're looking at what, maybe $1,500, and then so that's just the graphics card. And so that's just, what were you saying, the CPU or RAM? RAM. Yeah. So you are price porting like what, $200? $500? So in the year 2028, you're looking at maybe a full $1,000 for that. And then we have what, the memory? Oh, okay, memory. Okay, I always just categorize it as memory, not RAM. CPU. So you're.
And the brand that you want.
We'll get to that. Okay. So so
That's what's out there right now is
so we're looking for these components for the CPU. Let's just start with that. You're looking at your era of 2028, which is 2 years away. We're looking at what price point? Maybe 1,200. And then for the next component, this is all rough estimates. This is just
RAM would be around maybe $1,000.
and then so you're already looking. I mean, if we break all the parts down, we're getting price points of $1,000 or over. Yeah. So you're not going to have a cheap like burner PC. You know, you're going to have to spend roughly what I paid for this, which was at the time a top of the line model. You're going to be looking at paying $5,000, and that's just going to be a low tier PC. Now, if you want a high tier, you're looking at somewhere, I'm going to say $10,000, $8 to $10,000. Yeah, and that would be your top of the line. So PC doesn't even have the option of being a cheap option anymore. I mean, granted, like I said, PCs have always been a bit of gaming PCs have always been more expensive. I mean, I got a gaming laptop, and I go with gaming laptops not because I can play games on it or the graphics cards or anything like that. You can multitask so much on those laptops, and they run so much better than your basic Dell PCs or anything you get that's basic. They're much better PCs to run. Like I have my MSI, and this thing is taking quite the beating, and it still runs. And Dan can contest to that. That's why I stay with gaming PCs, or laptops. Yes, yeah. Now, you can even think about laptops. Like the next one I'm getting is going to be $1,200. That's the cheapest option I can find. Now, you can easily say for a $1,200 PC laptop right now, you're going to easily be paying $3,000-$4,000 in maybe 2028 or 2029. So this is not just a problem that's going to hit PlayStation and Xbox users. Like, oh, we're going to sell our consoles for $1,000. You guys are going to buy it? And no, I mean PC has to also update their prices with the times. So you're going to be crap out of luck, no matter which way you swing it.
I think one day in the future that they're going to have Sony or Xbox are going to have Sony laptop.
Oh, they're already working towards it.
Xbox gaming laptop. And
No.
you can play directly with your Xbox.
I mean, Xbox is just Microsoft, and Microsoft started out as a computer company. If I'm remember my history.
I'll be right back.
Okay. If I'm remembering my history correctly, Microsoft started out as a software company, or was? So the Xbox already has a monopoly on PCs, laptops, if they wanted to go that route. Sony, on the other hand, was stripped. The only thing I remember on Sony was TVs, like the big screen, the old school. So I'm not saying that this is not a possible future, but if they're charging $1,000 for just the PSP
right there.
No, that's not a PSP. That's the PS5.
No, this is for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's the PS5 handheld right now.
So my point is if they could like this, or make it go where you can hook up to internet and still play your games, this is the way to go. Okay, PlayStation, you need to start working on this kind of crap right here.
I'd rather them go back to the model, the original PSP or Vitas, because I don't like that model.
Well, I'm just saying in general. But if they could work on something like that,
Yeah, more handhelds would be fine. I think the reason why they're just bombshelling with console players is because more people are couch players. You know, sit on the couch or chair or whatever, lay in your bed playing a video game. Versus when we had portables and Vitas, you know, people were actually more on the move. You know, they were constantly traveling. They were constantly going to work. You know, you pop that in your back pocket, you pull it out for lunch, you play a little bit, you go back to work. We don't really have that much anymore. At least not that I see. Everyone's on their phones. I mean, I remember growing up and we had the portables. Everyone's out on their portables, and you know the SPs and the DSs. But now I see everyone just playing on their phones. And I actually ask people because I think they're doing something. Like, hey, what you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just playing a game. What you playing?
so now, now since we're talking about digital stuff, if you go on Steam, they actually have a Steam Deck, just like I just was showing you for PlayStation. They have one.
They just released a Steam Deck.
Yeah, and the price is over $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it not only it's over $1,000, but you get whatever, like if you want a 5 gigabyte or 2 terabyte or whatever, it costs more. And that right there is an add-on if you want the extra. So whatever comes with it is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And like my younger brother, he's had his PlayStation probably a lot longer than I had mine. He's got, what the heck do you call them? You get your USB, and then it's like kind of like this where you can upload your games on it to free up space.
Oh.
I just looked it up. You think that's Steam Machine, not Steam Deck.
Oh wait.
Steam Deck is 789. Steam Machine is 1,000.
Yes. Yes.
That's my bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's not like you just. It's not like you said anything offensive or anything like that. Like
I got it mixed up, but my point is, if Steam and PlayStation can work on that stuff right now, if they can work on that a little bit more than than shutting everything down, focus on like handheld stuff or just more things for people to use. That's the point I'm trying to get. And it's ridiculous that we have to, PlayStation and Xbox and PC players have to compete with each other. It's getting old. Stop competing with each other. You know, if it's not going to stop and it affects us gaming players, because I've been playing for quite some time, if it's going to keep affecting us, the whole gaming community, everybody's going to shut their shit down and never play ever again. Or you're just going to have there's going to be a major ass war. So it's like, yeah, it's just getting old. Like I'm getting, I love playing video games. Don't get me wrong, video games are awesome. It helps with my mental state. I play World of Warships too.
And I'm sorry for disappearing. I didn't think you guys wanted to have my audio and mic on when I was heading into the bathroom. I would agree with that. I mean, that's one of the reasons I turned to gaming, because when I was younger, there's a reason why I call my channel The Angry Wookie. If you guys see my rages, you'll know why. That's the reason why I love gaming, other than it just nice pastime and lets me work my brain. But it also lets me get the things I'm mad at, things I can't tell people, like for instance, I had a person. I was coming home from work, and or not work. I was going to pick up some milk, and I was coming home, and I was moving over to the other lane. I didn't see this guy. I checked my everything. I checked my mirrors and everything. I couldn't see this guy. The next thing I hear is a big horn. I'm already in the intersection to turn or get into the lane, so there's nothing much I can do. So he's freaking tailgates me, and I turn into my road, and he blinds. Like, I'm not talking like just puts his lights on. He like practically flashbangs me. And I was super irritated about that. I went on my game, into a game, and I put all my frustrations out on that. I kind of want to know what you guys think about the suggestions I've made earlier in the video. About having PlayStations for tighten up on their security, have your, be able to loan games out to your friends. More protections for ownership for video games, more the ability to rent your video games, all the points I already brought up in the video. What do you guys think about those?
Like I said, I think that being able to get these video games from the library, or having the resources to borrow games, something that a lot of video game rentals
No.
is probably your best bet. I'm strongly for these libraries being these games that anybody can borrow.
Oh, come on. Just about anything's offensive these days. You could play freaking Sly Cooper, and they could be offended as a raccoon.
That 100% needed libraries that are able to loan us and borrow videos.
What do you think?
I wish they would bring back
I would love that. I mean, it kind of pisses me off. Not going off PlayStation, but like, I don't. Dan knows what I'm talking about when they shut down Marcus theaters. Like, I only have a few of them, and now I remember a story saying that they're shutting down most movie theaters. Is that really takes a precedence, because when you're in high school, there wasn't a lot of options. If you were taking a girl out for a date, you went to the number one thing was you went to a movie theater. I mean, I remember going to a movie theater and seeing the first Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone with my class, and then went to watched it again with my family. But with them shutting that down, they're going all digital, and I understand. Like I said, I'm not saying like, hey, let's get on this digital bandwagon. I'm saying that there's things that need to be addressed before they make the big jump down to digital, because it'd be like I'm trying to find a good example.
Like these elderly people, they don't know nothing about digital.
Well, my aunt, she doesn't understand, because she comes from the generation that my uncle would slightly understand. He was a bit of a gamer when the N64 came around, but my aunt doesn't quite understand, the gaming. For me, that's just how I work through all the things in my life.
Right.
And you can ask Dan, and I'm not going to go into it on the podcast, but you can ask Dan and Eyes. Well, they know what I'm talking about. They know the struggles I've gone through for the last year. And if it wasn't for video games, I probably wouldn't be able to work through as much of them as I could.
And Wookie had his thing
Oh, yeah.
I heard about that.
To keep his
making content, doing it.
Content,
Which is actually kind of funny, not to go off of the topic of PlayStation, but I was streaming and this. I had.
without the games that you didn't have, if you didn't have those games,
Mhm.
you would
Oh, I wouldn't be bored. I'd just call you every few minutes. Hi Dan, how are you? Hi Dan, how are you? Why are you calling me? It's 3 in the morning. I'm trying to sleep, but I'm bored. I don't sleep. Anyway, I had a viewer come into my stream. He's like, "Wow, I can't imagine you're not higher up on your subscribers. You have such a great personality." I don't know. YouTube algorithm doesn't like me. I don't know. But I'm not used to comments like that because it's just like I am who I am, and I don't think anything much of it. You know, I mean, I try to be entertaining, but if I'm getting too relaxed on a game, I'm just like,
Like with the digital state now.
mm-hmm.
I remember when I was growing up as a kid in the 90s. I remember even into the 2000s. I remember this is gonna make you guys, Dan and Ice or Grandpa feel really old. Blockbuster.
Just so you know, Dan is not much older than I am.
Well, I'm just saying. I remember Blockbuster. It used to be the coolest thing. You could rent your VHS tapes, and I think after a while it was DVDs.
You can rent VHS, DVDs, and video games.
Yep, and I remember that. And it was in the hometown that I'm, or in the town that I'm in now. But you can also, when you're at Blockbuster, you can buy the popcorn.
Yep.
And then
you
go
can
next door and get the.
Everything.
Yep, you can buy everything that you want, or rent it, or rent the movie, or get the game, or and then take it home, watch it, and if you're done watching it, rewind it, take it back, and get it.
I remember. What was the phrase that everyone kept on saying, and it still exists today? Be kind, rewind. Remember, Dan, be kind and rewind.
They also had a remote back with a curtain back.
You see,
Okay.
when I was
I've seen that part because I wasn't old enough to go in that back room.
You weren't like 13.
I know what Dan's talking about, but mine was.
10 or 11 years old.
I mean, the movie rental place was no longer available, and this is where I first learned about one of my favorite movies is Inframan. But we used to be really good on good par with the owner, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you come back and help me?" I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" "Oh, just rewind these videos." So I actually went in the back, and he had like army of movies. I'd go, he'd have one machine set up for rewinding, one to watch, so I could make sure they weren't damaged or anything. And he'd let me watch them for a little while when my mom went out looking at R-rated movies, and I'm not allowed to be over there. So it was a really cool experience. I'm ashamed that I shouldn't say ashamed, but I'm sorry that the newer generations aren't going to have those type of experiences. But that's that's the thing. Like all of us are really worried about when it comes to ow, I gotta stop freaking hitting my finger.
When you're talking about the new generation,
Mhm.
just, when I was taking my nephew back and forth to work, and once in a while take my niece to a store or whatever, and I'm like, hey, have you ever? I says to him, have you ever heard of VHS? And they're like, what's that?
I've had that conversation frequently.
Seriously?
I'm on an Xbox party with a bunch of people, and one guy joins us in, and I'm talking to the guys I knew, and I'm talking about, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" We're talking about one of the best movies that ever hit cinema, and sadly has never become a DVD. What was it on? VHS? What's a VHS? For your home viewing. We just kind of pull the guy's legs a little bit, but I get what you're saying.
So and then we knew I don't know if we knew them personally, but we knew of them. So we used to take our VHS VHS tapes and some discs or the discs to him so he could copy the movie over to the disc.
I remember, not that we're trying to get off at PlayStation, but I remember VHS as being such more hassle to take care of than DVDs. Like, you couldn't leave them out in the sun. You couldn't do this. You had to keep it in almost like a dust-free environment because any dust would start causing the video to not to play correctly.
Or you see that little thing go.
Oh, But what? So let me ask. Start with Ice and Dan. So we brushed on the library. What do you think Sony could do that would alleviate some of the hatred that they are currently experiencing, and maybe start working on fixing this current situation? I get what you're saying, because we both used to work at Walmart. That'd be like Walmart saying, well, we're not going to make any more of this product. See ya. And it was a beloved product, and it made them a lot of money, and people were like, but we want it, and the customer's right. Like, we want it. Make the product, Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, we worked at Walmart. We always got like the angry customers, and I can make a whole podcast about the horror stories of Walmart. I'm pretty sure Dan could too. What about you, Ice? Well, to play devil's advocate a little bit, I mean, to keep physical media, I would say look at the sales of your consoles. Which console sold more? Was it your disc console, or your digital console?
Digital.
Well, digital is cheaper, but I would say physical is I haven't looked at the polls, but I would estimate physical drives would a little bit higher than digital, but that's just me.
I think the digital would have been better, because if Sony was in the like a box type of thing,
Rent them?
Rent them from Sony and ship them back.
Like GameFly. Which actually, I'm surprised I haven't seen that in so long. I was watching something on YouTube, and it says, "We'll ship it to you," and it was GameFly. I'm like, "Good Lord, you guys are still in operations!" Oh yeah.
For the people that can't afford the actual disc, that's where video game rental stores are high, like GameStop, Sony. You can take the product and send it to somebody, and they can play it, and send it back, and they can charge for it for a couple weeks. There you go. There's money right there for that.
Not trying to get off the topic, going back to video stores.
No, it's all connected. I mean, video stores, DVDs, Blu-rays, it's all connected, because once PlayStation stops printing, movies.
Please take no publish.
Quick question, Dan. Just looking at our correspondence, do you still have another job to go to tonight, or is this, or are you all done for the night?
Take my vehicle into some ballparks in the back end.
Oh, okay, because it's on your message it says you can after 8, taxi 12 to 8, and then... Oh, okay, I thought you had to go back to work at 12 and at midnight. I'm looking at the clock, it's like almost, we're almost 30 minutes till midnight. Okay. Okay, then never mind, go back to what you were saying.
Like I said, I'm taking away the
It has. It has.
So that being said, let's see what the source said. The next stores that make profit at
No, not to play.
Make one way too. The libraries are good way too.
See, that's what I was about to ask. Is like, what happens when the local library decide to, stop borrowing out movies, video games, and they just go back to being books. I know. I'm just saying, in a hypothetical situation, if they decided, the library's like, hey, we're having a lot of problem with people, not returning these, they're coming back damaged. What if they decide, hey, we're not going to do borrowing out video games anymore or movies?
It's very disappointing because if I'm donating in my own movies for you to put on the shelf,
So what's your biggest fear in all of this right now? I know you've touched on it a little bit, but what's your greatest fear with PlayStation throwing down the gauntlet here?
Well, like I've been pretty much saying all night, trying to keep physical media the biggest thing I've ever had for price tag. That shit happens 2 years from now. You start seeing pricing going up.
I know it's scary that we're already 2 years away from it.
You take Netflix. Last year they had 3 price tags.
I know. I'm paying like $30 a month for mine.
And they don't operate like they used to.
I know. It used to be like just for like what I'm using it for. They'd had it like for $20 a month. Now it's like almost $30 a month.
I gave it on Netflix.
I keep it up because there's a lot of movies and TV shows I still like watching on there, and I can't.
They basically started denying me access to watching movies. So I decided to get with it.
Well, heck, can always try giving you my access and see if it works.
especially having the daughter,
Right.
you gotta keep her happy and of course they offer that special price for a meter for like 5 something per month. I'm like, I'm jumping on it because it's Disney's Plus
Hulu?
and
Netflix.
not Netflix. It's got like some sort of sports thing in there.
Oh, ESPN.
Yeah, I don't
Oh, I don't either.
So, but the Hulu's nice, and especially the Disney Plus, you can access every single movie.
See, I would love for something like that to happen. With it kind of goes back to the PlayStation. If they had a service like that going on, that would alleviate a lot of this. But I'm not saying that they would be out of the woods. I mean, it's like, hey, we got this idea. How about we do this? We're still going to, the communication of the game plan, the things that they're going to be offering the consumer, the customer, which is, I'm not going to, I can't say that like, hey, it's just a standard movie going snobs. I'm not saying anyone else is a snob, but go ahead. Yes, so PlayStation Plus, so if you're playing, like, say, let's go with the popular option, which is Destiny 2. You could not play the game. You could not unless you were online, because it is a very much an online game. So you can't play solo, you can't play it offline, you have to have a PlayStation subscription to play that game. Same thing with Xbox, if you have to have an Xbox subscription to play it. They do. Oh, I know about the data centers. I know there's one in Port Washington that's being built.
Why can't they get the games on the data center and rent the usage of their digital games? Yes, they'll make them money.
I don't have an answer to that, but I think it's a very good idea. It kind of goes into what I was saying, is that they need to have a way for people to rent video games, not just buy them. Because what happens when you buy a game and now you're $70 down the drain and you didn't like the game?
You need to be able to try the game out before you actually purchase it.
Which is one of the things I'm upset that Sony has gotten rid of. Because if you turn on PlayStation, there's really not a whole lot of demos anymore for newer titles. I think the last game that had a demo was a game called Wukong. Other than that, there's been no demos or anything.
Xbox has Xbox Live, which is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an Xbox, but it's nice because I'm
Well, it's crossword compatible. So if you on Xbox, so Dan, if you downloaded, say, Destiny 2, I could add you to my friends list and we can play on Destiny. So I feel like that Xbox has, they listened to their fans when they decided to do. They're like, oh, we're gonna go all digital, and there was so much backlash to it. It's like, okay, whoa, okay, we're not doing that anymore. We're keep on printing games, and we're gonna do this. Okay, keep the customers happy. And they have a lot of things in play for those customers. Like if I pay like $20 a month for Xbox Ultimate Edition, which gives me access to a huge library of games. Now, I go on a PlayStation side, you're probably looking at like half of the games that Xbox is able to put out. And to go on what you're saying, it is kind of like it is a little way like you're renting it, but their library is so small. And what I'm actually talking about is like before buying, because you go looking at a brand new game, like say Wolverine is coming out in September. There's no demos for it. There's no way of really renting it. So you either have a choice of buying it or missing out, or you can go like what other people do is watch people's streams or reviews of the game before buying it. But I personally would have rather go and spend a little bit of my cash, which is like $3 or $4, maybe being able to play for a week, and like, you know what, I like this, I'm gonna go buy it. Or I'm like, hey, you know what, I really don't care for it, it's garbage to me, I'm not gonna buy it. But I do think Dan has a really good point, a really good idea about the data centers.
So, for example, Xbox Live,
Hmm?
they have a couple games in here.
Call of Duty are like cross compatible with it. Cross compatible with
Yeah, it was Call
anything.
of Duty 3, I think it was. Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, it was Modern Warfare 3 or 2 right there.
I don't have an Xbox.
There is a few games that are open-ended. So, like say Warframe, you could be on the PlayStation and still play with people on PC and Xbox. If you're playing Destiny, you have the exact same opportunity. But when it comes down to their IPs, like I'm talking about solely their IPs, they don't want to share access. And I'll give you an example. Play like Bloodborne. Everyone in there until you can just go on YouTube, type in Bloodborne, and you'll see hundreds of videos. Everyone asking for a sequel to the game, and they have not released it in the last 10 years. But that you cannot say. Let's say somehow PlayStation limitedly let Bloodborne on Xbox. You wouldn't. I don't even know how that would work, but you can't play Bloodborne on Xbox and play it on PlayStation. It's one of their sole titles. So if you had an open, like an online MMO like Destiny 2, you'd only have the access to that particular system. You wouldn't be able to play their MMO on Xbox and PC. Well, I'm also going to give this floor over to the Grizzly because it looks like he's about to fall asleep.
No, I'm
Rocking back and forth on your chair and going, I can see the Z's coming out.
I mean, I don't even have any more opinions on. The only opinion I have is like if PlayStation can have a even if they make an app where you can kind of like sort of purchase something but like rent to own it.
Rent to
That
own?
would be nice. Yeah, like a rent to own kind of thing. Or
I
like,
mean, rent to own options are going away as well. Like, there's not a lot of stores that still do it. I mean, there used to be like Get It Now, but they're going away too. Housing. No, I'm just brushing.
PlayStation itself, though.
If no one else, that's where I'm saying is if the general populace is not doing rent to own options, like I went through this route when I was looking for a house. I'm like, do you have any rent to own options? Like, we don't really do rent to owns, and that was consistent with all realtors. They don't do really much rent to owns. It's rent. Like, they'll rent you the house, but those are really very rare. Yeah, they don't really do rent to owns, and no one does rent to owns much anymore. I mean, the only thing I could say is that you'll have like layaway, or you pay some of it. Like,
that anymore.
well, the option, like, let's say I wanted to go get a PC, right? And Best Buy still does this. I could pay $109 down for a $1,200 computer, and I make that monthly payment every month. But that's as close as you're going to get to a rent-to-own option.
Oh, okay.
But you don't. But the rent-to-own you're talking about, they don't really do those much anymore. It's just it's just phased out.
I mean, the only thing I can also think of is like when you guys talk about like PlayStation Plus and stuff. When you get PlayStation Plus for a whole year for the whole year. Every month they come out with what is it, like 3 games a month that's free for throughout the whole month.
They do.
You can purchase either one of them if you're interested in it. So like
Donate.
AC, for example, that came out on PlayStation Plus. I'm like, oh hello. I tried it, didn't care for it.
The only system that doesn't do that much anymore, I should say at all, is Xbox, because they went all in with their Game Pass. Now this is where the PlayStation still does this 3 games a month, and even though I keep on hoping on my birthday that they have something stellar, and every year on my birthday it's crap. But it's 3 free games, but it comes to a point like there's only so much free bread you can eat before you get bored with bread.
Exactly. And like when they're now, I was on my PlayStation say about a month ago, and it was a few months ago. I was on it, and I was just searching up different games and stuff, and I'm like, what the heck? And I mentioned this to Ice a while back about American Truck coming, and Euro Truck is actually coming to PlayStation. And I think they're going to be releasing it too damn soon, because they haven't figured out how they're going to do the maps. All of the current maps that we currently have that are already out for the DLCs, I don't know if they're going to be DLCs or mods on the PlayStation.
Right.
I gotta take that into consideration. They also have to take that into consideration because people that don't really know what American or Euro Truck are, and they watched it and they still don't understand what it is. They're gonna get.
I barely know what it is. Ice and Dan are the truckers, not me. I crash trucks.
But I do play those kind of games. Like, I'm a simulation kind of guy. But I do like to play other games too, like 7 Days to Die, Warships, or I got into playing Gold Rush for a while, but that's all digital. When it comes to digital, is what PlayStation needs to stay with is the disc version. You can't have both. You can only have one or the other.
Well, see, what you're talking about is having physical or digital. Pick one. But in this economy, I wouldn't want them to say, well, you only get physical, or hey, you only get digital. They both serve a good purpose, and that's when I'm not against digital distribution. I just think they need to do a lot more ironing out before they actually jump the things. Like, hey guys, this is what we worked on. This is what's going to be implemented. It's going to be a great future. We got this all covered, all situated and all covered for you guys. We're gonna slowly start shutting down the factories, but you'll still have visible. We're gonna shut it down to like maybe 1 or 2 factories. So if you guys still want to have that physical disc, you can still get those, or don't shut the factories down at all. But I think.
Why doesn't the Sony, if they're going to reduce, instead of killing off the physical disc, maybe they're thinking, hey, we're not making enough sales for this.
Well,
So instead of mass producing all these discs, why don't they make it where the customer pays for the disc to have it made, and then they ship it to the customer?
I mean, that's a good way of doing it.
That way they're not mass producing all these games and people are not buying them because they're losing money, and some of them
Would you be shocked if there's evidence actually stating that physical sales are actually higher than digital sales? Yeah, there's actually so that's where Sony's also getting into the frying pan a little bit, because they tweaked their their percentage of sales to look like, oh yeah, we're getting better digital sales. Actually, the physical sales is still doing much better than digital. So that's another thing that's causing them to have a lot of heat right now, is like they're not being upfront with their customers, and that there's already a good established market for physical copies still. And like I said, you know, don't just get rid of physical disc. You know, take the advantage of the fact that you are making good physical game sales, even though they're higher than your digital sales slightly. Let the wagon go, and work on making the digital feature more appealing to your customer base. So it's not this thing where, you know, Sony just takes the person and throws them into the water and say, "Oh, you'll learn to swim eventually." You know, they need to take it slow, and I think that's where a lot of people are also getting into this state, is that it's too soon, too quick, too fast. You know.
Yeah, but when people move too fast, they're going to screw up. So let's take the PlayStation 5 for example. When it first came out, people had nothing but issues, right? The one actually did it when they took it out of the box, the whole thing fell apart.
No, I mean, I never remember taking my PS2 or 1 out of its box and it falling apart like it isn't Jingle All the Way. But what I would do to compare, to get into what you're saying, is and this goes back also still to digital, is in the era of PS1, PS2, even PS3, is that you had to get the game right the very first time. I just watched a making of God of War, because I just started playing God of War again, the original PS2 God of War. They had to get that thing flawless before putting it on the shelves. Now, we've gotten away from that in recent years, because you can really, I'll give a perfect example. Mass Effect Andromeda, Cyberpunk 2077. I've never played it, but I've heard things about it. But I can speak to Andromeda's effect, is that game needed to be polished. That game needed to be put in the oven, cooked a little longer before releasing it to the public. It's not. We've gotten into the state where game developers release a game and they patch later. They fix later. Yeah, they half bake it and they're like, okay, we'll fix it later. No, you need to fix, because you're ruining the customer's experience. You're charging us $70. It's like taking the movie and there's like half the movie missing. Like, can you imagine Lord of the Rings, for example? You pop in the disc, and just when they get to a critical moment, and there still should be another 30-40 minutes left of the movie, they just cut it. And like, oh, don't worry, we'll release it in a minute. We're still shooting it. No, you got
a show like series. You have to finish the whole series and not get halfway through it. Oh yeah, we're done.
Well, they've done that with certain shows. Like I remember Dinotopia. I love Dinotopia. And at the very end, they left you with a cliffhanger, and they never released a movie to close it.
So I have a worker that comes on certain days, and she was talking about Avatar. I'm like, I thought she was talking about the actual movie Avatar that with blue people. She goes, no, the cartoon Avatar. They actually made that a real life show.
Yes, they made it into a live show on Netflix.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I never really watched it. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, so like everything is nothing but go from cartoons to be animated to real people. So, like, for example,
Well,
they just did a remake of. Do you guys remember Little House on the Prairie?
yeah.
Now that's on Netflix too. The remake of it. They should have never done a remake. My honest opinion. They should have
Dad, you're not to interrupt, Grizzly, but you're being very distracting with that background.
He is.
What?
He was changing it every few months. But you
I-
mentioned reason to say it.
Yeah.
Love movies, they should never judge a remake.
No, I mean, there's only a few decent remakes I can think of, like Walking Tall. No, I was gonna say Walking Tall.
Walking Tall.
'Cause it-
with who?
With The Rock. It was actually that movie. The Rock. Well, he still called himself The Rock during that time, but.
Yeah, but instead his name is Brian.
I mean, he went on that later on, but I think it was just marketing. Like he would market himself as The Rock, so that's why he kept it. But but that was like what the Walking Tall was like originally like 1978, something like that.
I should tell you here in a second.
But they remade that one with Dwayne Johnson, and I thought it was a phenomenal movie. I loved it. 1973. So I was not too far off, but I thought that was a really decent remake.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few others.
But okay, now here's a movie. I don't know if you guys. Speaking of The Rock, he played the Tooth Fairy. Okay. Then
Oh
they had-
God! Now I remember that movie. I'm picturing Dwayne Johnson in a freaking tutu. Thanks.
So, and then they have the Tooth Fairy. I think it's 2.
That's not even a remake, though.
No.
I mean, the first one, and then they did a second one, and that was with Larry the Cable Guy. Which great. Now I'm
Okay.
thinking about Larry the Cable Guy in a tutu. Can we get all of this Tooth Fairy topic?
Okay. Anyway, there was a movie I used to watch when I was a kid. Growing up, it was Smoking the Bandit with Burt Reynolds. If they ever remade that, I won't watch it.
But I get what you're
Make
saying.
that character.
And to play devil's advocate, a remake, it's either hit or miss. You either make it good, make it better than the original, or you blow it up. Like for instance, Star Wars, and that's a perfect example. They never remade it, but they could try to continue. They tried rebooting it with a different story, different protagonist, and they played too close with the vest. There was no originality, and it just was not like I watched the first movie, and after that, it just killed it for me. Huh? Don't tell me Don't say Harry Potter because I'm not watching the new Harry Potters. I thought that was actually not such a bad movie. You're talking about Keanu Reeves?
No, I'm talking about the original movie that they tried.
Oh, you mean with Tom Cruise?
The original movie was 1953.
Mm-hmm.
They made at least 5 different kind of remakes of that same movie.
I mean, I thought the one with Keanu Reeves and the original was really good.
Yeah, the original is really good.
And Keanu Reeves, I'd like Keanu Reeves' version.
And then to do the remakes anywhere close to that.
So you don't like Keanu Reeves' version?
I ain't seen it, and I don't like his version, but as far as a remake,
I personally liked it. I thought it stayed very close to what the original was, but made it in a fresh way. But that's just my opinion. But going back is I think that one of the biggest problems, next to all the problems we've already stated, is the big disconnect from moviegoers and PlayStation. Like for me, like I say this all the time on my streams. I think just media in general, like movies, TV shows, have gone down. Like I'm watching old shows. Like I'm watching Kitchen Nightmares. I'm watching freaking Transformers. I'm watching old, like Stargate. I'm watching these shows versus the newer stuff because they weren't afraid of being edgy. They weren't afraid of being politically correct. They weren't afraid of offending someone. And you know, the bottom line to me is like, you know, we could, like Ice, Dan, we all grew up with, you know, we grew up with thick skin. And you can go to me in the store and say, well, I think you're absolutely ugly. What's wrong with that hair? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's pretty good. But you know, if you think I'm ugly, then I guess I'm just too beautiful for you.
Oh,
you know?
I actually had a little girl come up to me and call me fat. Looked at my belly and the mother laughed at it.
I was like, well, I would just say, well, there's just a whole lot more for me to, almost more for people to love. That's all. It does not, people, yeah, it does not, nothing, you know, offends me or affects me. Even when I was in my teens and 20s, it doesn't, that stuff doesn't affect me. But it seems like when, you know, they make a movie, people get easily triggered. Like I remember way back when they made X-Men Apocalypse, and there was they had Mystique on there, and he's like, well, you're objectifying her. And I'm like, I don't see anything. I just see a freaking character, you know. And TV shows, just movies, TV shows, just, I feel like they're just too afraid. Like if they don't cater to these, huh? Do what? Do I want to know? Is it suitable for YouTube?
Probably not.
I'm asking for the truth here.
No.
Huh?
A pink one too. It's right up your alley.
All right, chat. I'm curious. Well, at least there's no audio, so it can't be copyrighted. Oh, you're talking about Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah. That's not offensive. That's not offensive at all.
That's going back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, before Dan keeps on distracting us with his love for Larry.
I was wondering why he had a smile on his face. He's just sitting there laughing like,
At least there's no audio, and we only watched like 30 seconds, a little bit of it, so I'm not gonna get copyrighted. Not that I care, because I'm not monetized.
No,
Yeah, I mean we've been podcasting for like we did 33 minutes, and this is an hour and 30 minutes, so we're good about good 2 hours worth.
Anything you want to say before we close it out?
No, I mean I think we touched on the topics very well. I liked everyone's point of view. Kind of why I wanted to get a big podcast together so that we get, you know, multiple points of view. And I felt like, I know Dan's not a big PlayStation player, and I know Ice isn't one, but this would equally affect. Yeah.
Because one, I can't use it. As me as if I were a customer, I can't use the controller.
Right.
That's why majority of time I like to computer because I can customize the mouse to shoot, just a mouse.
Let's just hope he doesn't use that thing to drive his house.
And then you got ice there, who wants a fresh plane, and then riding in it.
I have pictures of him actually nosediving a plane. That was awesome.
That's the reason why I prefer the PC.
I'm trying to point to you.
That would be going up, not that way.
Wookiee majority of time likes console stuff.
I grew up on console.
And
Ow!
See, a lot of this stuff is actually starting to come over. Like, for example, the Ninja Turtle game, for example. I can play that. All the Ninja Turtle arcade games.
Right. The one console I don't have it right now is a Super Nintendo. But we established in the podcast, you know, what happens on PlayStation on the console is gonna gravitate to PC gamers. So this is not just a console player problem; it's everyone's problem. Oh God. There's I remember though, I was trying to do something nice for a friend, and I was trying to find a Nintendo game. It's called Pest Exterminator, I think. Where you just take the big bottle and you just keep on whapping and get mice and bugs. I ended up paying. This was when I was actually making probably better money than I am now. I ended up paying like $100 for it. And that was an original Nintendo game. So, if we're gonna start reaching prices of that, like on PlayStation, PC, I fear that that's gonna be the downs. That's gonna be it for most gamers. It's like, well, I got my games, I'm done. And I feel that that's when Sony's really gonna start listening. Is when the PS6 comes out. And they release it, and their sales are like, why aren't we selling it? I don't know. You kind of flames your audience. You know, you kind of flames your customer bases here. It's like calling your customers a piece of shit. You know, it's like, wait, why aren't you buying my consoles? It's not like it said anything bad. I just called you guys pieces of shit, stupid. You know. I'm not saying that's what Sony said, but with their action, it's kind of what they're saying is that you're going to buy our stuff regardless. You got no brain. But my comment on that is, huh?
I said I haven't needed to buy their product.
Oh.
They don't have the games like we play. They don't probably
I mean, they haven't released any really good games lately. Like all of last year. I mean, granted, I was a little off the market, off the bandwagon for a year. But before that, they were doing remakes, remaster. So there was really no incentive for me to buy any games. Like I think the only new games that are coming out that I'm looking forward to is Wolverine, which I'm going to buy physical. Then there's coming out with Phantom Blade Zero, which looks phenomenal. I've been geeking about that since they first came out with it. It's like a combination of Sekiro with Dark Souls, or I should say Sekiro meets Bloodborne more. Gonna buy that physical, but that's like the only few titles that have actually come out in the last recent few years that got people excited. They've been doing nothing but remaster, remakes, and they've been doing master remakes of video games that have no business being remade, like Horizon Zero Dawn or The Last of Us. I would rather them do like games like Onimusha or Soul Reaver, classical titles. If they're gonna do the whole remaster year or two, just do those two classical games versus any of that, But I sympathize with Dan and Ice, when it comes to PC, because I'm not as big as a PC gamer as them. Like I probably have a handful of titles on my PC. I can probably list them in one hand: Phasmophobia, Ghosts. Ghosts. Here, minimize here. Phasmophobia, The Forest, Among Us, Truck Simulator, Stardew Valley, Modern Warfare, Destiny 2, Lord of the Rings, Diablo 2. That's pretty much Humans Fall Flat. Yeah, so I'm not a big, huge PC gamer, but so this would definitely affect Ice and Dan, because these guys are core PC players, and if PlayStation, charges $1,000 for a console, and then they start charging, this comes into effect, and they do only digital distribution, which is now like, well, we're not going to let you. We think $70 is too inexpensive. We're going to go and turn that down to $80. The next year, $100, and there's nothing stopping them from touching that dial. And then PC designers and game makers are going to say, what are they charging? And they're actually making yank, because they're going to have youngsters going to go in the store with their allowances or their parents' money, because they're going to say, "Mommy, I want this, babe." I remember, being kid once, like, I gotta have the newest toy, I gotta have the newest game, and the parents give into it. So then, they'll pay into it, and they don't understand what's transpiring, and it's going to trickle down to Xbox first, then Switch, then PC, and we're going to end up in an economy where there's not going to be gaming for anybody. And PlayStation and all of them are going to say, why are we... I really imagine this on the mirror meetings, like, hey man, our stocks have dropped. Hey, our sales have dropped. What's going on? Have people stopped gaming? No, it's just, it looks like they're just doing their older games. They're not really buying any of our new games. Why? Because we charge them any of this. So, I mean, I personally don't think this is going to stick around, because everyone keeps on saying that PlayStation is an idiot. They're not an idiot. I mean, you can't end up being a multi-billion-dollar company being stupid. But on the other hand, yes, they are making a very dumb decision when they are getting rid of physical media, because there's no everyone. See, this is where like I said before, this is where you get the argument. Well, you don't really own anything, and that's true. Even down to your DVDs, you don't really own. You just own the physical copy. You don't actually own the game. But you're not gonna have. I'm not gonna see like Paramount will knock on my door and says, "Give me all your physical discs." You know, you're not gonna see any movie distributor knock down my door and say, "You must give me all your physical discs." You know, but what we own is the physical copy. What we own is the right to play that copy at any time we choose. And that's where a lot of people are worried. I'm worried about that because, like I said, it's just the fact that we're not ready for it. As Sony's the company, they're not ready for that. Like I know there's the Batmobile. Ow! And damn it, there it goes again. There's the Batmobile. We all want to ride in the Batmobile, but you're not ready for the keys to the Batmobile yet. You got to do a little bit more work towards that. Let this cook. You know. But I think we pretty much hammered the points out thoroughly throughout the 3 hours we've been talking, with a small delay of 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, my computer decided, no, you're done. I mean, I've got to go through the computer and just kind of clean it out. Any closing statements from Dan or Ice? Grizzly.
I got nothing, but the only thing I can say is whatever is going to happen, happens. That's the only thing I can say, because if this is going to, whatever happens to gaming, that's what happens.
I mean, I'm in a generation that I used to go outside and play.
Yep.
So, you know what? I got a kayak. I can go to the gym. I can go take my kayak on the river or play one of my older titles. You know, that's where they are fighting right now is, yeah, you have a lot of younger generations, but the people who are really your customer base is the people who are buying it. And that is the people who are in their 30s, 20s, 40s, who have been your loyal customers for the last 30 years or more. Those are the people that are making you the money. And when you've pissed those people off, you're going to see your sales drop. So I personally don't think this will stick, because the majority of people want the physical disc to stay around. But we'll see.
I mean, my final opinion on that, what they should do is put a poll up of which you stay, which you go.
I don't think, me personally, I don't think PlayStation is going to do that. I mean, the voices have been pretty loud. People have actually even done very similar to my opinions, what they think they should do. And we'll see if PlayStation is going to listen. Right now, they're kind of just staying really quiet, because they're thinking that this will all blow over and will eventually just kind of come back. You know, just even though PlayStation has pretty much punched us in the face, they're expecting us to come back and buy their consoles and their games. And I gotta tell you, dude, after I get my physical copies back and I buy whatever physical copies of games that I'm currently wanting, I'm done. If that's if it's just gonna be a digital future, I'm done. I'm not. I might keep my PlayStation subscription, because there's a few games on there that I only have for my PSP. But aside from that, I'm probably not going to be. Definitely not going to go for the PS6 because of lack of disc and price. because for $1,000 I can update this computer of mine. You know.
Exactly.
I mean, unless that freaking PS6, I push a button and it turns into a transformer, you know, then maybe I just push the button and like, PlayStation, go get me a beer. Right away. Here you go. Turns back into a PlayStation 6. You know.
That
Please.
happen. I'm out.
Yeah. I'm making that point. I'm a nerd, so I'm going to make nerdy references. But that's pretty much, I think we all kind of hammered the point. It was an awesome stream. I'm going to ask this question to Dan, Ice, and Grizzly. Would you guys want to do another podcast at some point? Well, maybe next time you can pick the topic. Like Diane's obsession with tutus. Or how does Ice get his beard to be that poofy? Where does he feed it? Alright, man, I thought this would be a pretty good topic. I mean, this is not a topic that just affects PlayStation and console gamers. It does affect everyone. Right. I mean, I'm not going to say my movie library is what it once was. Neither was my physical disc for gaming was what it once was. But I do have some physical media, and I think for me it's a good sense of it gives me a calm sense of mind when, like, say my internet goes down, or because I have Spectrum for my internet, and what happens with the internet goes down in my neighborhood, I can, like, oh, I'm good. Yeah, I can. I mean, I picked this up at Goodwill, and I still haven't really played it. Guild Wars. But I can pop in my DVD and watch Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, or I don't have a VHS player. Actually, I do, but I don't know if it works. Well, that's why I was kind of hoping, like, one of these days when you may be coming over, maybe you can help me with some of that. I'm emptying out a storage unit, and there's just a box full of. There's a big DVD player, 2 DVD players. It looks like a soundboard, like a whole. It's a whole system, and see if it's actually if it actually works or all, or worth keeping. But I think the only media that it's hard to find is a VHS player, because if you get a bad VHS player, you eat your disc, your movie, you're pretty much shit out of luck. It happened to me once. That doesn't work. At least I only did it like during the credits. If I play it towards the credits, it just goes. But no, it's crumpled. It's got creases in it. It only happens during the credits, which I really don't care. As long as I get to watch the movie. But we'll have to see. I'm a little worried about, the future of, gaming and media. But we'll have to sit and wait, because we have no power. We can't. We're not like the CEOs of Sony, obviously, and just say, hey, no, we're not going to do this. We're doing this, But I think our voices are pretty loud, when it comes to our thoughts and opinions on this. But yeah, if you guys like these podcasts, let me know. If there's a topic maybe you guys would like all of us to explore. And you guys even want to join us for the podcast, and we can talk about the topic. But I thought that was an awesome podcast. I thought it was actually pretty darn fun. And I didn't even get drunk yet.
Damn.
Well, I've been drinking mostly milk. But it's either alcohol, water, or milk to drink in my house right now. All right. Thank you so much, Ice, for joining me. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again. Oh, and before closing, if you guys would do me all a favor, if you guys are watching this and you guys haven't checked out their channel, please check out Ice, Grandpa Ice Gaming. If you could, before you leave, Ice, would you put that in chat for me? The link to your channel. Also, to be able to please check out Dan, Fireman Dan. They all both make awesome content. You do. Just don't crash any vehicles. Just don't crash any more trucks. Go ahead, check their channel out. If you like their content, go ahead and get them a sub. And don't be afraid to annoy the crap out of them and say Wookiee sent me. And I also want to say a special thank you to Grizzly, who joined us today. They had awesome commentary and awesome feedback.
Yeah. Same here. I gotta get off. I got a long day tomorrow.
I mean, it's dinner time for me. I already made my bowl while we were waiting for Dan. Before we got started. Oh, nothing to apologize for.
Hopefully next time starting wise.
I mean, I was working on getting my headset working and my mic going, and I'm fortunate enough that I have a Logitech, so it works as my camera and my mic, and then I have my headset so I can hear everybody. And because that's the point of a podcast, you can't just not hear what people are talking about. It's just like, just hope you make a good comment. Also, guys, so tomorrow, I can't tell you when, because I kind of gave up doing all my chores today because I was running around getting my finger cut up and looking for some way of getting my audio going. But we'll be over on Twitch, probably finishing up Digiguide 4. Since I can't play Castlevania Lords of Shadows because I'm not allowed to. Monday there will be another Blasphemous video, boss guide. If you guys want, I haven't heard much feedback other than I recently played this, which also is an awesome game to play if you ever just randomly pick it up. We will be doing God of War videos like we did with Musashi. Again, big thanks to Dan and everyone who joined the podcast. Awesome. And I will see you all on our next adventure. Healing frequencies closed.